You crack through the membrane of a giant yellow egg in the most depressing dimension imaginable. Welcome to the Upside Down, where the sky looks like television static. Everything's covered in weird vines, and those floating spore things in the air taste exactly how depression feels. Your first breath fills your lungs with air that smells like a basement that flooded 40 years ago and nobody bothered to clean. Home sweet home. Right off the bat, you notice something's wrong with your face. Where normal creatures have eyes, a nose, maybe some eyebrows to express emotion, you've got nothing. Just smooth, slimy skin stretched over what should be a face. But wait, you're hungry, so you try to open your mouth and surprise. Your entire head splits open like a demonic flower blooming in fast forward. You've got rows and rows of teeth arranged in petals, and honestly, good luck ever getting a date looking like that. You stumble out of your egg on legs that seem way too long for your body. Everything about you is wrong proportions. You're like someone tried to draw a person from memory after watching them through a funhouse mirror. Your first steps are wobbly, and you immediately trip over one of those gross vine things that are everywhere. They're connected to everything, pulsing with some kind of shared consciousness that makes your brain feel fuzzy. Congratulations, you're plugged into the universe's worst Wi-Fi network. The hive mind kicks in almost immediately. You can feel it humming in the back of your skull. A constant presence that's part guidance system, part overbearing parent. It whispers directions, urges, commands, hunt, feed, serve. You don't even get to develop your own personality. You're basically a biological drone with a dental nightmare for a face. Your first hunt is pathetic. There's not much to eat in the Upside Down except those weird slugs that taste like battery acid and regret. You try to catch one, but with no eyes, you're basically playing Marco Polo in a dimension where everything wants to kill you or ignore you. You rely on sound and vibration, which works about as well as trying to parallel park with your eyes closed. After hours of stumbling around, you finally catch something. Victory tastes like moldy bread soaked in swamp water. But hey, at least you're not the only freak down here. You occasionally bump into other Demogorgons, and nobody talks about how awkward those encounters are. You both just stand there, flower faces closed, doing this weird telepathic acknowledgement through the hive mind that roughly translates to sup. Then you go your separate ways because, honestly, what are you gonna do? Compare notes on whose life sucks more. You're all living the same nightmare. As you grow, your body gets even more ridiculous. Your arms become these elongated nightmare appendages that drag on the ground when you're not careful. Your skin stays perpetually slimy, like you're constantly sweating, but the sweat is somehow worse than regular sweat. You discover you can climb walls, which would be cool if there was literally anything interesting to climb to. It's just decay and darkness in every direction. The hive mind starts teaching you things through what feels like the world's worst online tutorial. You learn that somewhere above you, there's another dimension full of warm-blooded creatures that actually taste good. The hive shows you memories that aren't yours, glimpses of a world with actual color and life. You become obsessed with it, spending your days wandering the Upside Down's version of forests and buildings, pressing your flower face against the barriers between worlds. Then, one day, you feel it. Blood. Real blood, from the other dimension. Your whole body vibrates with excitement. It's like smelling pizza when you've been eating nothing but rice cakes for years. The scent pulls at you, and suddenly you discover your special talent. You can tear holes between dimensions. Not elegantly, mind you. You basically punch through reality like the Kool-Aid Man if he was designed by H.P. Lovecraft. The first time you try it, you mess up spectacularly. You push too hard, and create a portal the size of a pinhole. You spend 20 minutes with your flower face pressed against it, trying to squeeze through like toothpaste through a tube. The hive mind is not impressed. It's sending you the psychic equivalent of disappointed parent sighs. Your first trip to the real world is sensory overload. There's actual light that doesn't flicker ominously. The air doesn't taste like despair, but you can't enjoy it because you're too busy trying to catch whatever's bleeding. You burst through some poor kid's wall, probably traumatizing him for life, and he runs away on a bicycle. A bicycle. Nobody told you the food here has vehicles. You chase him through this place called Hawkins, Indiana, which honestly isn't that much more exciting than the Upside Down. The kid disappears into a shed, and you think you've got him cornered. Then he pulls out a gun. A gun. What kind of 12-year-old has a gun? You grab him anyway and drag him back to your dimension because that's what the hive mind wants. Apparently, you're not supposed to eat everything immediately. Sometimes you're supposed to save it for breeding purposes, which, gross. Life becomes a routine of hunting trips to the real world. You develop a taste for deer, which are basically nature's participation trophies. They stand there looking confused while you open your face flower and introduce them to more teeth than any reasonable creature needs. You also discover that creating portals makes all the lights go crazy, so every time you hunt, you're basically announcing your presence with an impromptu disco light show. You try to be sneaky about it, but subtlety isn't exactly in your skill set when you're 7 feet tall and your face opens like a carnivorous umbrella. One time you emerge in someone's swimming pool at night. Do you know how hard it is to look threatening when you're doing the doggy paddle? The chlorine burns your everything, and you smell like a public pool for weeks. The other Demogorgons avoid you even more than usual. The hive mind keeps pushing you to bring back specific humans. There's this girl who the collective consciousness really doesn't like. She's got powers or something, did some psychic stuff that made everyone in the hive mind super cranky. But mostly you just want to eat regular food and maybe find a place where everything doesn't look like it's been put through a depression filter. You're dragging another human back to the upside down when some teenagers show up with weapons. Not just any weapons, they've got a baseball bat with nails in it. Who thinks of these things? They also have fire, because apparently, you're flammable. Nobody mentioned that in the hive mind orientation. You're suddenly on fire, running around like a giant slimy birthday candle, trying to remember if stop, drop, and roll works when you're an interdimensional predator. The worst part? One of them is taking photos. Photos. You're literally on fire, flower face screaming in pain, and this kid's worried about his photography portfolio. You manage to escape back to the upside down, still smoldering, and every other creature gives you a wide berth. Nothing says evolutionary dead end. Quite like leaving flaming footprints wherever you go. The burns heal eventually, because you've got regeneration powers, but now you smell like burnt slime, which is somehow worse than regular slime. You're getting real tired of this whole existence. The hive mind is constantly nagging, the food in your dimension sucks, and every time you try to get a decent meal in the real world, some kid with telekinesis or a makeshift weapon shows up. Then comes the big showdown. You're following a massive blood trail to some middle school, which already sounds like a trap because who bleeds that much at a middle school? But the hive mind insists, so in you go. The place is full of government agents shooting at you, which tickles a little but mostly just annoys you. You're swatting them away when you see her. The psychic girl. The one the hive mind really, really hates. She looks at you with this expression like she's about to do something dramatic. You open your mouth flower for what you assume will be a quick snack. But instead, she starts screaming and floating. Floating! Since when do humans float? Your last thought as she disintegrates you into interdimensional confetti is that maybe, just maybe, you should have stayed in that egg. At least the egg was warm. And that's how you end up as ash particles scattered across a middle school classroom, which is somehow still better than living in the upside down, eating slug sandwiches, and taking orders from a psychic hive mind that treats you like its least favorite employee.